is a Bramble Jam podcast. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of GCOM Descendants. I'm Brandon. That's Sarah. And that's Dan.
Hi.
We're excited. We're excited for another day, another Friday in the house. We're talking Buffalo Dreams.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, that's the good stuff there, Brandon.
Buffalo Dreams. You know, a lot of people might be thinking this feels like a dream. This movie, a fever dream, something that didn't actually happen.
Did it?
Boy.
Did we watch this
I went
movie?
back and looked at my notes just to make sure I had it right.
Yeah,
I was
we
like,
watched this a couple days ago, and when I sat down, I was like, "What movie are we doing again?"
Yeah. Did they show that kid naked like 3 times?
What?
What?
Well,
Oh yeah, in the bathtub. That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Poor kid.
Brand, before we dive into the Buffalo Dreams, the
Okay.
dream of 300 reviews, dying a slow death. I guess we do have one more rating. We don't have any new reviews written, but we're up from 156 to 157. So there is a new rating in the building, and I believe it is a 5-star. So thank you very much.
There you
And
go.
that's fine. You don't have to write, wax poetic about how much you love the DCOM Descendants.
Sometimes people can't even form the words
can't do
about
it.
what their
They
show
can't
means to
fathom.
them.
Yeah.
It's so hard when
tough.
when you come across something, a piece of art, if you will, that moves you so much. Sometimes it's hard to put it into words.
Sometimes
you
it's
say
tough.
5 stars, and I can't. I don't
Yeah.
want to.
Yeah.
It's too
and that's
much.
fine. We'll take that. I mean,
Yeah.
we love words of affirmation around here.
Yeah.
We're big on words of affirmation, but just a 5-star would work just fine.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. We're talking Buffalo Dreams today, and the only thing that's missing is
You. Sorry, go ahead.
a delish. I got to be honest, Darren.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're up against it here.
None of
I
us are
don't-
thrilled with what I brought
I'm
today.
concerned.
None of us are thrilled.
I'm concerned. You have brought a beverage of sorts for today's Delish segment. We're going to call the beverage the Buffalo Dream.
Yeah.
What is it? Tell us about it and how it ties into the movie Buffalo Dreams.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about today.
It's a Buffalo Bloody Mary.
What makes it buffalo?
There's buffalo sauce.
Oh, yeah, because there's
Oh,
hot sauce.
interesting.
Yeah, you
Bloody
just
Mary
replace the hot sauce with buffalo sauce.
Yeah.
I love tomato juice, eating a tomato like an apple. I love vodka. When you put them together, I do hate it.
You don't
Really?
like Bloody
You're
Mary.
not a Bloody Mary fan.
No, I've come around to it a bit more than a few years ago, but it's still. I made a sample last night, had a cup, and was like, sure. But hey, hypothetically, if we were filming this at 9 a.m, brunch,
Hypothetically.
hypothetically, a Bloody Mary.
My wife loves a Bloody Mary.
Well, great. I'll go hang out with her, and I'll bring the rest of
Guys,
this
let me
over.
bring this to her real quick. You guys mind holding on? All right, I guess we're. So what is it?
Cheers.
Tomato juice?
Tomato
Hot
juice,
sauce.
vodka, buffalo. There is some horseradish.
Well, it's 9 a.m. There is vodka in this.
Yeah.
I love that for us. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Yeah. That is what I thought it was.
I think if you like Bloody Marys, it's a great take on a Bloody Mary.
I mean, a hot sauce doesn't hurt a Bloody Mary. I want to be very clear.
Yeah.
It
I
helps it
like the
immensely.
kick of buffalo.
Yes.
Like, that is probably my favorite part about this drink.
Yeah.
I just don't like the other things that are in there.
Yeah.
It's honestly hard for me to I feel like I can understand how people like most things. I don't know how people like.
I don't know how we got here.
Bloody Marys.
I don't know who one day was like, you know what would go really great with my tomato juice.
Do you think tomato juice, there was something about it that could preserve? Like, it just seems like a drink that was made out of necessity. I have no historical knowledge on this. I just, in my head, it's like, what if we got booze and tomato juice? Like, it does feel like
Sounds like an
alcohol.
alcoholic was bored one day.
Yeah, I would, knowing me, and when we were done recording, I am going to go do a deep dive on tomato juice.
How about that?
But
Ooh, there's not a consensus. It's a lot of different origin stories.
I love that.
In the 1920s is when they think it was French bartender is credited at Harry's in New York bar.
Shout out.
Harry's New York bar in Paris.
Oh, that's
Oh, okay,
confusing.
yeah.
Yes. And
Hey,
then
where's that New York bar at? Paris.
Where's the Paris bar at?
inventing the drink in
New York.
1921 at Harry's New York bar in Paris?
Yeah, that's
what in
confusing.
the world?
It's a confusing title.
Huh.
That's a confusing title. I wonder how long it took for it to actually get to New York.
The original title of the drink was called the Bucket of Blood.
Oh my gosh.
And then it was also called the Red Snapper. Two terrible names.
Bloody Mary. I don't really like the name Bloody Mary. Like
No.
to be sure.
I mean, if you're offering me a drink and my choices are bucket of blood
Yeah.
or Bloody Mary,
You're-
like
yeah.
I'm
that's right.
probably going Bloody Mary, but also like when you
I
really
would rather
think about
the blood
it,
to be in a bucket and not off of somebody named Mary. Like if
where do you think that blood came from?
I don't know. The one in the bucket?
Yeah.
Probably from Mary. Like I understand either way.
You just
the
don't wanna think
blood
about
is-
it.
Yeah, I want Mary to.
You don't want to think about Mary.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to think about her.
Okay.
George Jessel, Hollywood actor,
George Jessel?
is believed to have ordered this
It's
routinely
me,
to help
George Jessel.
with a hangover,
that's what it is
Yes.
is known for.
which is crazy. You know what?
That's
Man,
why
my
they're-
head is pounding.
Does it
Can
get
I
it?
get half vodka, half tomato juice? Is there? Could you
Is
do
that
that for
what
me?
makes it a popular brunch
Yeah.
beverage?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, does it get its name from like the folklore of Bloody Mary? Are
I
those
mean, I
connected
would
at all?
assume. So they called it all these other things, and my guess is they called it that. Probably having something
Okay.
to do with.
All right, you can tune in next week to our
monarch.
new
What
podcast.
happened to Mary in the folklore?
I don't know.
Why is she
They're just
bleeding?
is like I remember at sleepovers, like you're supposed to like look in the mirror and say Bloody Mary 3 times.
Oh. I didn't do that.
Yeah, I didn't.
I
do
didn't.
that
To
either.
That's
be clear, I
demonic.
didn't do it either because what if she showed up?
I was talking about Mary the First and her killing Protestants all the time.
Yeah, no, I
That's what
think that's
was-
where the Bloody Mary. But Bloody Mary was like a sleepover thing where you would dare
like
someone.
the Candyman.
You would dare someone
the
to go in the bathroom and
Candyman.
say Bloody Mary into the mirror.
Candyman.
And I never did because while
no.
I'm pretty sure it's not real, what if?
What if it was? What
Let me-
if by me
I'll-
saying Candyman a third time?
I'll be
You're already at
honest.
2.
I
I'll
did.
be
I did
honest.
3. That's
Oh.
3.
Say it.
No.
Candyman.
I would rather.
A 4 spot in it. What are you gonna do now? See, man, it's up to you.
If I were to play
Balls in your court.
Bloody Mary, I would rather a scary woman named Mary show up than one of these end up in
Wow.
my hand.
Wow.
I said it.
Take.
Yeah, it's why I also won't play Jumanji.
Yeah, you never know.
You've talked
know.
about that.
You don't
That's
want
a
to
whole thing.
I know.
You don't. You know.
My roommate in college wanted to play Jumanji, and I was like, I
Hey,
don't want to.
you
And
gotta-
she kept being like,
Why
it's
risk
not,
it? Why risk
And
it?
she was like, it's not going to happen. I was like, you don't know.
Yeah. Why risk it?
You don't know.
Ouija board? Would you not mess with that? Because of why risk it?
I never have. I've
But-
never been in a situation where
would
it came
you?
up.
Would you Ouija?
Dude, what if it would?
I think I would Ouija.
but
You would
not
Ouija,
Jumanji.
but not Jumanji. That's
Okay,
crazy.
those are okay. Talk to a spirit and
But-
maybe get some answers, or get trapped in a jungle for the rest of your life. There are
But one
good
is
point.
one has none of it. Neither have any evidence to suggest that they're real. I want to be clear, but one of them has like folklore behind it that it's real. The other has none of that. It has one. It has a movie.
It has Robin
series,
Williams though, and I think that's important.
right? Like if you ask me which one has a better chance of being real, I would say none of them. But
You
if
think
you said
Robin
which
Williams is
one
lying to
has a
you?
better chance of being real, and put me like gun to my head, I would say a Ouija board has a better chance of being real than Jumanji.
I mean, it's not really like what has a better chance of being real. It's in a world where they're both real. I would rather handle a Ouija board
Than deal
than,
with some animals.
yes, than a stampede.
Really?
And then be
You'd
stuck-
rather
but
deal
you're
with like
stuck.
spirits and ghosts you can't see?
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm on
Then
the
a
opposite.
stampede.
I would much rather deal with things I can see than can't see. 100%.
When was the last time you watched Jumanji?
Give me I've seen it numerous times.
The original.
Love Jumanji.
Yes, I love that movie. Saw it in the theater when I was 10
Are you
years
under
old.
the impression Dan has rewatched the Jumanji remake?
Yeah, get out of here. No. Get out. That was a one and done situation. I've shown my kids Jumanji like in the last year. Bonnie
Terrifying.
Hunt, spectacular. David Allen Greer, amazing. Robin Williams, duh.
Shout out to Keene, New Hampshire, where it was filmed and I once lived. So.
Shout out.
All right.
Which is probably why I think it's real. Is
yeah.
I pass that
That's
parachute
a
sign
real
every day.
place. That's a real place. Therefore, a real
And that
game.
parachute
All I
sign
know
is up there.
Nobody has died. Nobody died in Jumanji. So many people have died in Ouija board movies. So
That's
many.
true. That's a good point.
So
I've never seen a Ouija board movie.
No one
really,
has died.
you've never seen
Really?
Ouija or Ouija Origins of Evil?
What, do you know me at all?
That's true. These
I'm,
are
I'm
classics.
home rewatching Ted Lasso.
right.
I'm not out here watching.
unbelievable.
All right,
Ouija
all right, all right.
what
Yeah,
I
we're
need.
gonna take a break. We're gonna come back. We're gonna play Bloody Mary one more time, and then we will talk about Buffalo Dream.
Bloody
And
Mary,
really
Bloody Mary,
anything
Bloody
to get us from talking about that movie.
Yeah,
let's be
anything.
honest.
Cheers, everybody.
All right. Well, the time's come. Welcome back.
Oh, are we doing this?
I guess so. Let's
White
talk.
guy saves the reservation. We did it.
Buffalo Dreams originally came out on March 11th, 2005 on the Disney Channel. It was written by
Dwayne Dunham?
Marjorie Schwartz
that's why.
Nielsen. Marjorie Schwartz
Marjorie Schwartz
Nielsen.
Nielsen wrote this movie.
Yes. 3 pretty long names.
Buffalo Dream's actually the sequel song to Bob Carlyle's Butterfly Kisses.
Buffalo dreams,
Buffalo Dream.
in a big old field,
Riding our bikes.
down a big hill, gonna save the waterfall. Buffalo
Don't
dreams.
throw that can.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you.
Directed by David Jackson, starring Riley McClendon, which we know from Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off.
So we got Schwartz Nielsen, McClendon, and David Nielsen in this movie
and
about Native Americans.
Simon R. Baker.
Simon R. Baker, yes.
We have David Jackson.
David Jackson.
Nielsen is the director.
Yes,
Sorry,
the writer.
David Jackson.
The writer. Woo-hoo. David Jackson's done his fair share, right? Yeah. Let's see where Dave Jackson okay. Let's see what Dave Jackson has to say about this one on his IMDb. Oh yeah, we already did this. He's done so much stuff. I want to know if we're going to see any more Dave Jackson though. I always think that's interesting to see when they hang it up.
Thinks it's interesting.
Buffalo Dreams looks. Oh, he's going to come back for Return to Halloween Town. So, you're welcome. You're welcome. And then I think that's it. They said, we'll give you one more chance. We're going to give you the Halloween Town without the lead. Do your best, Dave Jackson. All right. Are we ready to dive in?
No.
A boy named Josh is in a car with his parents. They crash and they die. That's the end of the movie. I'm kidding. Unfortunately, they are all living. And so we have this movie. I don't know. It could all be a dream. It's a Buffalo dream. This is a Buffalo dream. And they're making their trek to their new home. Josh is not thrilled about this. They're moving away from their home in Chicago, and they are moving to Colorado. And all he really wants to do is ride his bike. Big into biking. But as he's riding his bike one day, he comes across some kids, Thomas and Scout. They are brother-sister, and then their buddy Moon. They tell him that he cannot ride his bike around here. This is sacred land. And then they sing Lean on Me to a buffalo.
And that was the movie.
Lean on me. Yeah, that's right. The Native
Guys,
Americans
if
have
you-
an ancient ritual
Yeah.
to herd buffalo, and it is singing the Bill Withers classic,
Lean on me.
Lean on Me. Yeah, it's not funny.
They like what they like. And Dan, I felt like you had a really
Call
hard
on your
time with this.
bison.
But have you met
You
anyone who
need a
doesn't
hand.
like Lean on Me?
I haven't.
Person or buffalo even.
Yes, but is there a less Native American way of herding buffalo than
The
singing
buffalo
the
aren't
Bill
Native
Withers
American.
classic?
Should
The
we?
buffaloes are buffaloes.
Okay, all right.
I mean, are
love
we
how
just
hard you're
diving in-
arguing against
I'm just
this.
saying. You gotta admit, maybe they tried. Maybe
So
they
you mean
tried.
to tell me that the Native Americans had it wrong for thousands of years on how to herd buffalo?
I'm just saying,
they
you weren't
couldn't
there.
figure it out.
You don't know.
But they herded buffalo
but they
successfully.
weren't like herding them buffalo. They followed the buffalo. They
followed-
let the buffalo do what they wanted to do.
100% true. And they're
where
on the
the deer
reservation,
and the
that's
antelope.
that's still the
play.
point of them. But they were you would agree that over the course of thousands of years, Native Americans would come across buffalo that needed to be moved at some point.
And they would sing Lean on Me.
And before 19 whatever year Bill Withers' song came out, which is after Native Americans had been their lives have been completely ruined.
Yes.
That is when
Yep.
Native Americans living on a reservation where buffalo sometimes still need to be moved decide to sing the Bill Withers
Will
classic
you at
Lean on Me.
least admit that it is possible?
No.
It's possible.
No,
that
I will
for,
not admit this.
For generations and generations and generations,
They did it
buffaloes.
wrong.
No, they didn't do it wrong.
Okay.
Buffaloes did get herded.
Should we just say buffalo?
Buffalo did get
Bison.
heard. They heard it. They and then one day, and everything's going great, but then one day they hear somebody playing on the radio as
Lean
they're
on
driving by,
me.
Lean on me.
When you're
And the
strong.
buffalo decide we will not move ever again.
Unless we hear that bop.
we hear that
mean,
song.
But how did they
There's
figure
pre-lean
that out?
on me and there's post-lean on me. Is
I
all
will
I'm
not
saying.
admit that. That's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard.
Okay.
How did we get there? Like, did they try a bunch of different songs? Did they just sing "Lean on Me" and it hit gold right
I
from
don't
the get-go?
once again want to bring the room down, but Native Americans have a long history of song and dance.
Yes.
That they believed helped them be one with Mother Nature.
Yes.
For Native Americans to sing the Bill Withers classic "Lean on Me" as their method for this is absurd.
No,
I
it's
just think-
absurd. But like, how did we get there? Like,
White people wrote the movie. That's how we got there. What if they sing "Lean on Me"? What if they sing "Love Shack"? Well, that's offensive. We don't want to sing "Love Shack."
That would
What
be
about "Lean on Me"? Can you imagine?
I'm
I got
just-
me a Chrysler.
All
It's as
I'm
big as a
saying
whale.
is no one hates Lean on Me. That's all I'm saying.
That's true.
That's all I'm saying.
That's
I just
true.
don't know how we got here.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. No one hates Lean on Me. The next day, Josh has to go with his dad to intern at his what is it, like a rocket job? What is it?
He does something with.
It's the
science.
research center.
Yeah, big science.
His dad's some sort of scientist.
Yes, and he really wants his son to also be interested in that, but his
Mhm.
son's not interested. He makes him go into a copy room for a day, and he gets bored.
They basically
and-
lock this kid in a windowless copy room with zero instruction,
Yeah.
and then get mad when he
Yeah.
goofs off.
How dare you?
That's right.
Who do you
Oh.
think you are?
Sometimes you have to. And so he doesn't
It's like
go.
yesterday I watched. This is we don't want to talk about this movie. Yesterday I watched Grizzly get a bunch of dirt and put it all over the trampoline.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is a situation where if I'm out there and it's my kid, I immediately go, don't put dirt on the trampoline. But if I'm not out there, I've left a 7-year-old to his devices.
100%.
I come out and I go, this is what was the plan here? You know what I mean? I can't get mad.
No.
How are you supposed to get mad? He put dirt on the trampoline. He wanted to see what it would be like. He's got a
100%.
creative mind. You leave this guy in a room, you leave this 14-year-old in a room, like, I leave my kids out and they decide that the cooler needs to go on the roof.
Yeah.
The small cooler needs to go on the roof. I can't be like, why did you do that?
Yeah.
You were 8. That's why you did it.
That's
You
right.
can't. Why are you getting mad at this kid? He's 14 years old. You didn't give him any instruction. You just set him in there.
I mean, was there any thought process behind cooler on roof?
There wasn't.
Okay.
Yes.
I think there was something else on roof, and they thought cooler
Oh.
would bring
Yeah,
it down,
classic. Knock it down.
which is just not great because there's that
It's
one
not
load. They're
bad.
climbing on the grill to put cooler
Oh.
on roof. It's a bad.
all,
But
all of this sounds.
once again, I'm not out there. It's a dirt on trampoline situation. I'm not out there. Like I just left them to their own devices.
I mean, I do see the 8-year-old logic.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that was more interesting and above board than this movie.
right.
I don't
Continue.
think I don't think I would have stopped him from putting dirt on a trampoline.
Even if you were out there.
yeah.
I would've.
Just do it. Just see what happens.
Well, my thing is like
Well, it's an easy cleanup.
Yeah,
Like
it's an
I
easy
like
cleanup.
I would just be like, all right,
I would
what's he
just be
doing?
like, it's where are you taking the dirt from?
Sure. What do you
First of all,
yeah, that's fair.
that's
We
my
got a lot
number
of
one.
dirt in the backyard though.
A-
so
And then it's what do you do? What's the goal here?
just see. Just take a gander.
Just take
The
a
next
gander.
day, so he doesn't go back to that job. Instead, he ends up hanging out with Thomas and Moon, helping them with some work. And
Mom signs him up for reservation
yeah,
work.
and he is beginning to,
Because
understand.
how dare your 14-year-old acclimate to a
Have-
new environment?
Yeah, by himself
just have
in a room.
summer. Is it summer vacation?
I'm
I
assuming.
think it
Just
is.
let a
I
kid
think it
summer.
is.
Just let a kid summer.
Hey, we're
Anyway.
gonna take you away from all your friends, all your familiar places. And by the way, you also have 0 time to adjust. You need a job tomorrow.
Yeah, what you're gonna go out there and work the land. And so, but he begins to understand through hanging out with Thomas and Moon. Moon, who is I don't know if this is important or not, but Moon couldn't be more white.
The whitest.
The whitest. He's
whitest
the
guy.
whitest moon.
Yes.
And moons are white.
Yes.
Our moon is anyway.
But Moon has really taken a liking to the Navajo culture because, and I quote,
Oh my gosh.
I like that they went through stuff. So that's where Moon's coming
Moon-
from.
So many other reasons to appreciate Navajo culture. Just,
I like the hell that they went through.
I know it's been 20 years, man, but be better.
I can't believe that was a lie that they gave someone to say. I like that they went through stuff. When talking about Native Americans, that's a crazy line.
Oh,
Especially when it's your ancestors that put them through
Yeah.
stuff.
I like that they went through stuff because of us. But Josh does meet some other white children who also like riding bikes, just like him. And so he's like interested in this group of kids, but he's hanging out and he's having a good time with.
Well, the other kids are kind of jerks.
They're kind of jerks. And Thomas is, beginning to like warm up to Josh and they're becoming buddies. And he even shows him the secret spots. The secret spot is a waterfall and it's beautiful and it is on the sacred land and no one is to know about it. So Josh promptly goes and tells the other kids about the about the
The
secret
other-
spot.
Well, it's even worse. Those other kids make fun of
I
him.
know.
yeah.
Try to kill
Yeah.
him, like push his bike over.
He wants to be cool.
I know my secret spot.
Yeah, you guys want to go swimming?
Then the mean kids get in a car and they're leaving, and I'm like, great, Josh, you are home free,
You did
bud.
it.
They were awful. You tried. You tried to hang out with a new group of friends who share an interest with you. Like, good for you for trying, but just walk away. Take the L, walk away. And then he's like, wait, I know a place.
Josh is the villain of this story. I know that those other kids are mean to him, but Josh is
He
told
made a choice.
not to tell anybody about this place. And then he immediately tells people about the place. And then
And not even just people, like the literal worst people.
who like go and they graffiti the rock and they just chuck aerosol cans into the river. Like, this is bad in any environment, not just on like reserved land.
It's very bad. It's very bad.
And then he has a race to fix it. Like, dude, you're a
Spoiler
we're
alert.
jumping ahead.
I know. I'm just saying, like, that's the you're this far in and you care what happens in Buffalo Dreams. Okay. I'm just saying, like, you're the villain, bro. You're the villain. Don't give me this hero nonsense.
All right, so they're swimming. We spoil that they tag up the place.
Yes, they tag up the place.
They tag it up.
They throw the spray paint cans into the water. It's a whole
Are they
thing.
also drinking beer?
I don't think they're drinking. beer.
They're drinking something at one point, and those cans go in the.
They wouldn't drink.
I don't think they're drinking beer.
Not those
Decom.
kids.
No.
Not those kids.
Yeah, they're too young.
Yeah. They would never. Teenagers
so-
would never get their hands on beer illegally.
Thomas ends up finding out about this, and he knows exactly who to blame.
Yeah.
Moon's like, "Hey man, give him a chance." So I was like,
Yeah.
"No."
Well, Josh then even doesn't like face up to his actions. He
No.
fakes sick the next day.
Yeah,
Did
he
not
hides. He hides.
work. Yeah.
So Thomas and his grandpa go over to talk about what happened, and unexpected, I think, to Thomas, grandpa's basically like, "Hey, both of you need to go out and vision quest."
Yeah, you got a vision
Yeah.
quest.
Well, my favorite is when they're like, dude, why would you tell them? Like, these people are the worst. These kids have some colorful language for Native Americans.
We're not going to talk about.
Which I'm not going to say, but like when it was said in the film, I don't like
It was
it.
jarring,
And Josh's
but they wouldn't drink alcohol, and I think that's important to say.
Josh's big defense is, I told them about it and I took them there, but I tried to stop them with the graffiti.
Yeah,
And-
man.
Also, like, while they're there, these kids try to kill Josh again.
Yes, they
They
push
do.
him off.
They try to
They
murder
push
him.
him
They
off
do.
the cliff.
It's a light
And
attempted
he
murder.
was like, I wasn't ready. Like, why would you do that? He's like, I just thought you needed a little push.
Prank TV.
Stop.
Prank
Josh,
TV.
these guys are like, just stop. What they're
Stop.
doing is illegal, and you could go to the authorities.
You sure could.
Unless that kid's dad is the sheriff, and then maybe not.
His dad's probably the sheriff. Let's be honest.
But yeah, out of nowhere, Grandpa's like, you know what? You two are out of sync with nature.
That's right.
So he gives him some peyote and wishes him the best of luck.
So we take these two 14-year-olds, one who has probably never spent a night in the wilderness on his own, or a night in the wilderness, period. And
Parents
we're
are
like,
cool
you know
with
what? Get on out there.
And the only thing I can figure is that Grandpa has a baggie of something that he just says tripping balls.
That's right. Yeah.
And he just
Yep.
takes the dash
Yeah.
of that and puts it all over their food. Because that night they don't want to hang out with each other, so they go to their separate areas. And they both have some wild dreams, bro.
And,
Like
we're going to
crazy.
talk about.
They've only eaten, I don't know if Thomas has eaten anything.
Yeah.
Josh has eaten a candy bar and some poisonous berries.
We did.
We're going to talk about white person voiced birds in this dream in a second, but I do have a question. How long has Josh and his family, how long have they been in town?
I mean, I think it's still summer.
This
vacation.
is a crazy
Yeah.
story if he's lived there his whole life. This is an insane story if he's lived there weeks, which I believe is the case. Josh's family's been in town weeks.
A couple weeks.
And he's vision questing with a local Native American
Can you
boy.
imagine Dan
In the
moving
woods.
moving to a town and a couple weeks into it, one of the neighbors comes over and says, "Hey, your son has to go into the woods overnight."
That's right.
And
No, unsupervised.
unsupervised, just kind of be with his thoughts and nature.
That's the only way we're going to get over this.
I mean, he said he has to, so our hands are tied.
But this whole movie, we've also noticed the parents would probably do anything to get their son out of the house.
They would. They would.
So they're like, overnight we
That's
get to
right.
be by ourselves.
Is he going to be safe? Does he know Lean on Me by Bill Withers? He's probably going to be all right.
Good to go.
Are we packing him any food? No.
No. Just some drugs and some poison berries and a good
is
time.
wild.
So Danny did mention he does have a dream. There is a bird that speaks to him
The more we talk about
and
this.
tells them to jump.
And that bird is voiced by Rob Schneider. Like the bird is voiced by the whitest human being. Like it is
Hey,
not.
come on.
Yeah, it's like, hi there, I'm the
a lot has
bird.
been
Well,
jarring
hello
in
there.
this movie, but when that bird starts talking,
Yeah, it's crazy.
it felt wrong to keep watching.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
Josh-
it felt like it was a hate crime to keep watching the movie at that point.
So Josh jumps off a cliff, begins to fly,
Fly.
and
Yeah,
I guess that gives him the clarity that he needs
sure.
to. After the fact, he knows he's not going to go back to Bike Gang, and he's gonna go tell them, "Hey, you can't waterfall anymore." And they are like, "Says who? Like this is we can go wherever we want to. Look at us." And he's like, "Well, let's race for it."
Yeah, the only way to stop these kids from biking all over protected land and graffiti on protected land
Is where we're
is
gonna race you for it.
14-year-old
bike.
bike race.
Yeah.
Guys, back in 2005, we still had a functioning government. They probably would have done something if you'd taken it to the authorities.
Yeah, that's like actual against the law. There's
Like, it's-
actual rules there.
Like there was a whole scandal sometime, not in 2005, but sometime like a few years after that, where Vanessa Hudgens and her boyfriend at the time, Austin Butler, potentially defaced sacred land, and it was a whole
The
thing.
whole thing.
Like they would have done something. There's your Decom Daily Minute.
Yeah,
Not-
you guys about to say.
Not
if you ever
Elvis
wanted to
and
make
Gabriella.
Yeah.
make a case, that's the
Yeah.
case right there.
How about that?
I mean, it
Um,
wasn't as bad as, spray paint cans, but yeah, I remember it being a whole thing, and I was like, all right, well, yeah, that was against the law. You guys shouldn't have done that. Did she get that idea from this movie? I don't know.
Who can say?
Who can say?
Disney borrows from Disney. So there's a training montage. Well, his dad goes and he gets him a new bike. I got to be honest. I don't understand what happens in this scene.
Well, he almost like dies.
Yeah.
So that's after is when
Oh
he
my
gets
God.
the bike.
His dad goes
Have we
to this
mentioned
random
the
shack.
girl who won't talk yet?
And there,
Yeah.
we
Okay.
haven't. Well, I mean, we've said her name. I haven't said that she doesn't talk.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
No, after, so
It's an
he
important part
tries
of the
to
movie.
go, Josh tries to go riding, or he's training for the race.
yes.
And the other kids literally try to kill him
Yeah.
again.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
they
his-
throw a rod in the wheel as
Yeah.
he's going full speed. and he just-
downhill.
Breaks the bike.
So breaks the bike. He tries to wheel the bike back.
It starts
Starts
raining.
raining. The bike is slowing him down, but he's at this point lost. I think the dad. So then he's really sick for a few days.
Yes.
So the dad is like, he hears that his son is doing this heroic thing of racing to protect the
Saving
land.
the waterfall. Save the
So
waterfall. save
dad
the-
goes on his own vision quest of sorts. It's a weird scene where the dad is just driving and he sees this sign that says like the thing you need is here, and he pulls in and there's just a girl who
in a lazy boy.
yeah, everything around her looks like this store has not been touched in 100
Nah.
years, but she's sitting there like she I think is a ghost.
So I hear you need a bike.
She knows he needs
Literally,
a bike.
she's like, you need a bike, it's right there. I'll give it to you for a good price.
What do you think he spent? I love how even in his vision quest,
In 2005,
he has to pay for
$45
stuff.
$45. That's a good deal for a mountain bike. That's a
at
good
that
deal.
store.
At that, okay,
Yeah.
all right. But it's got to be a good mountain bike.
It's got to be a good
Yeah.
mountain bike.
Yeah, I mean, it was from the spirits,
From the spirits.
the gods.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it is
Like-
now time
About time to
for
help some white people out. You know what I mean?
it's now time for the race, and you might be wondering how's the rest of the town going to know about the race. Luckily for you, there is a teenage radio talk show host
which
played
you were
by
obsessed
Cheetah
with
Girl.
all-
Chanel
all
from the
movies.
I
Cheetah
can't get
Girls.
over it. There is a
Radio
teenager who talks on the radio
24/7.
24/7.
Like
Doesn't play music.
It's not an after school gig.
No.
Like there are times where she's on the
Full-time
morning
gig.
radio, she's on the late night radio. When
It's
Josh
summer.
goes missing, she's still sitting
Yes.
there. Like
You
she's
won't
like,
believe
"Hey
what happened."
everyone, Josh is missing."
It's
And
a
so-
weird plot device.
So somebody who is at the
Like, I'm
race
not
is
mad about it. I would listen to that radio program, but it's a weird choice.
I
'cause
listen all the time, but clearly it's summer and she just spends her entire summer
Yeah.
in the
Her
radio station.
entire
Yeah.
day.
she's doing radio. So someone who's at the race, I believe it's Thomas's grandma,
Yeah.
is on the phone with her,
Mhm.
telling her what's happening in the race, and she's relaying that information, literally a game of telephone. Shout out. So the race is happening, and it's actually going really well for Josh. And you're like, Josh is going to do it. He's going to save the waterfall. But the buffalo begin to riot. And that's another way to say it. Stampede. I went with riots.
The buffalo are riding. We haven't heard lean on me in effing ages. Let's go.
They begin,
bullshit. Let's go.
They begin to run towards the town. Josh sees this happening. Lets everybody know.
Everyone's watching this race. No one's singing to us.
That's right.
No one pays attention to us anymore. And so
just wait till we're extinct.
He decides. Oh,
womp womp. Endangered species alert.
Shout out. He decides to bail on the race and
Warn the town.
Warn the town. And Thomas goes, and he's like, "We got to go help too." You know, we know the song. He ends up falling, getting hurt really badly. So Scout, as Dan mentioned, Scout hasn't talked this whole time. Scout hasn't talked since her parents died.
She knows sign language. She can hear,
yes,
but she doesn't speak.
So she decides, you know what? You got to take one for the team sometimes. And
I have to save Thomas's life.
Yes, she sings
Call
"Lean on Me."
On your brother
when you need a hand.
We all need.
So she's finally talking again.
Yep, and the Buffalo riot is
quelled.
Yeah, all those kids on mountain bikes were able to herd them away from town,
including the villains, the bad kids.
But does the main villain join them?
He does at the very end. I think when his buddies go to leave, he's like, "Well, okay."
Yeah. So Josh breaks off from the race to go warn everyone and gather the other bike kids to go, you know, the only way to herd buffalo if the song isn't working is mountain bike. And so is it Kyle?
Yeah.
That sounds like
we'll go with Kyle.
Kyle, like they said Josh left the race, but Kyle ends up at the same place. Yeah, he's like, I won. And it's like, well, if this is the stopping point, Josh has already been here. But Kyle's like, I showed him, and his friends could care less.
Like, no, you were losing the whole time.
Sir, you weren't, but also, didn't you hear? No one cares about the race anymore.
The Buffalo are rioting.
Buffalo are rioting.
There's a Buffalo riot.
It's a Buffalo riot.
Dude, I wish this movie was called Buffalo Riot. That'd be awesome.
Would have been a movie.
And I guess is that it? The Buffaloes say, and then they, you know, everyone's going to be happy.
I think there's a party.
Yes, there is a party at the end.
I could not tell you what happens in the last scene of this movie for all the money in the world. I was so checked out by that point.
And Moon goes up to everybody and he's like, "I'm glad what happened to you. It's why I like you." And that's basically
happen,
I made that up.
Yeah, I honestly don't remember how.
I like that they went through stuff. There's a party, and that's the end of it.
I know the ending shot was like a beautiful scenic picture.
Yeah, I think they might be looking at stars. I don't know.
Stars in the sky.
That
happens
earlier.
There's a party and everybody's happy.
Yay!
That's what you need to know.
We're
going to take a break. We're going to come back. We're going to break this movie down a little bit more. I think we're going to come back.
We didn't get canceled? That's unbelievable. We did.
Here on
Decom Descendants.
Really good.
Better than this deserved.
We had a Vision Quest. Welcome back, everybody. We're talking Buffalo Dreams.
Yeah, we are.
We delished. We chatted. And now it's time for overtime. It's time to talk about how this
delish, C for com. Oh
for overtime. It's time for the overtime to see how this movie aged over time. I do have some Letterboxd reviews if you would like them.
I would love to hear these.
Nicole Gorm said, "I'm so 1.5 stars. I'm so upset that he jumped into the water with his socks still on. I didn't notice that, Nicole.
Of all the things to be upset about in this movie, that's one.
Yeah." It is socks on. Adeem says 1.5 stars. Best part was when a sweet little white boy wistfully admired the genocide of Native Americans by saying, I like that they went through stuff.
Man, just brutal.
I can't believe it.
It's brutal.
Maddie said, "You're telling me Buffalo had this dream?" Jackson Hall says, "Why'd I have to see this kid naked so many times?" B. Padilla says, "Don't remember ever having watched this, but this movie is Johnny Tsunami in New Mexico, where the Navajos are and mountain bikes instead of the urchins and the snowboards. And now that I think about it, Johnny Tsunami is Brink. This movie is Brink." And Zed says 3 stars. "Why are we using the dirt bike method today to combat racism in America?" It's time to share our thoughts on this movie.
Man.
I had never seen this movie, Aaron. I don't think you had seen it. Okay. I was just I was hoping for the best. Dan obviously had not gone out of his way to see this one. Aaron, what'd you think of the old Buffalo Dreams?
Yeah, So I saw this movie when it first came out, which is based on other DCOMs that I skipped. This one was prime for me skipping. Dirt bikes in Buffalo, but
What?
I don't know, maybe nothing was going on that March and I watched this one. I couldn't have told you any of the plot except that there were buffalo and mountain bikes going into this movie in the year 2025. And
Of our Lord.
in the year of our Lord 2025. And I fully see now why my brain was trying to protect me and had forgotten all of the details of this movie. I will not be watching this movie again. No. This movie was rough. There were a lot of scenes where I was like open mouth shocked that dialogue made it into the final cut. I see where Disney was going, kind of, but not a great execution, not an interesting plot line, and not a great movie all around.
I feel like I'm able to forgive a lot, you know? I'm able to look past a lot. And I was doing so, basically until Vision Quest. And then this movie lost me. I was trying. I'm trying my best to give this movie the benefit of the doubt.
Everything you could to be the defense attorney of this movie.
And then Vision Quest happened.
Quest was rough.
And not only was it bad, it was dumb. It was just the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. And then to have
offensive.
him and offensive.
So offensive.
It's bad, it's dumb, it's offensive, it's the trifecta, it's the holy trinity of
like if you're gonna rip off Native American culture, at least try
don't
to pay
do it
some
with Rob
respect.
Schneider. You know?
Man.
And then everything past that point was pretty tough. From the only thing I will say about this movie is the villains sure are villains. They went so hard on the villains in this movie, and still at the end they tried to redeem those characters. And
Josh is the villain.
That's the thing. Josh is the villain, and this whole like redemption arc thing that they do, or they attempt to do at the end of the movie for him, was enough. You did it, and then instead they say Josh is the hero, but also let's redeem the worst kids in the entire world. We're gonna redeem everybody, and that was the last straw for this movie. So a really tough one. Because listen, this movie, in theory, it is Johnny Tsunami, and it is Brink.
That's right.
And it is significantly worse in both of those flicks, unfortunately. So it's a movie that I should like, and I didn't like for many, many reasons.
Can you imagine like watching Johnny Tsunami, where he is just the greatest human being in the entire world, and then you get Josh.
Josh, get out of here, Josh.
Whose biggest defense was, I tried to get them to stop.
I did. I told them, but I tried to get them to stop.
You specifically asked me not to tell anyone, and I heard you. Didn't listen to you, but I have no fault here.
Who hasn't, after an attempted murder, told them attempted murderers where the secret spot is?
Yeah,
I think we
we've
all
all been
You
there.
tried to kill me, but
We've all
for
been
some
there.
reason I still want you to like me. So
I will. I like that. That though is like
Very
so,
teenager.
so middle school.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I want the kids that are the worst to like me, and like,
Correct.
You're just dumb.
Yes.
So that was like I wasn't a stretch to me. Those kids were the worst though.
Yeah. Here's
Get
what
out
I'll
of here.
say.
Kick rocks.
The DCOMs, like we've done 55 of these, they don't shy away from message movies. I would say, and I'm just spitballing here, there's at least 6 or 7 of these movies that tackle some sort of issue from our history, Color of Friendship, Buffalo Dreams, or some sort of societal norm or societal injustice, like True Confessions, Tiger Cruise, like I would say Motocross, I would say Double Team. Like there's these movies that take on these messages. Of those movies, this one is the worst. Those movies typically aren't good, typically are not good. Sometimes they get it, sometimes they don't. But in most cases, with these DCOMs that do messages, even if they're wrong, you see that their heart is in the right place. Like True Confessions made me angry, but I do think at the time they thought they were doing the right thing, right? Tiger Cruise is pure propaganda for 12-year-olds. That's all it is. And it was wrong then. It's wrong now. But if you believed it to be patriotic, it's right. Does that make sense? Like in the mindset of the people making the movie, I can't get there for this one.
I don't know how you like. I don't know.
I don't know how you get there for
Even
Buffalo
Bran
Dreams.
can't get there.
Yes.
So like that's how we know.
The rest of these message
Thank you.
movies,
Yeah.
most of which don't turn out
Brink
well.
is the #1 decom of all time.
Yeah,
he
doubt.
can't.
He can't get there.
No doubt.
But like Dances with Wolves is a bit of an embarrassment, and that one's fairly authentic, where a white guy, Kevin Costner, joins this Native American tribe, becomes one of them, and saves the reservation. Like, and that's problematic. Who thought in 2005, what if we have white boy Josh save a Native American reservation
By mountain
through a
biking.
vision quest and a mountain bike race? This from the like origin of the germination of the idea of this movie, everyone should have stopped. It's no. Like, you can't do this. I don't, who is this for? When you read the people who wrote it and directed it, it made me angrier because the one pass I would have given this movie is if a Native American reservation out in the Southwest had a writer or director they wanted to get in the business and they used it to do this movie, I would have been like, okay, I guess we see the point of it. It was made by, no, that's not what happened here. I don't know how it got made. I don't see how people can even say the motivation is good on this movie. This is a trash movie. It's unfortunate, it's offensive, and it's bad all the way around. Every white person in this movie is terrible. Everyone. The parents who let their kids go on a 14-year-old vision quest after being in town for 3 weeks. The kid who's like ruining the reservation by telling the kids to go ruin the reservation. The kids throwing aerosol cans. Like, it's bad. It's bad. And then it's fine if you want to make every white person bad on a Native American reservation. That would be pretty accurate. But then to have them save the day is just absurd. It's a tough watch. It's a tough watch, everybody. I would not recommend.
Was nominated for the Directors Guild of America Award for Outstanding Directing
There you
Children's
go.
Programs.
There you go.
That's crazy.
There you go. It's time for what is it?
Making the list.
Making the list.
Yeah,
M
we're
for
sorry.
making the
We
list.
know it's your first
I was so
episode.
thrown off by what you just said.
Sorry.
I
The
didn't know how to-
Director's Guild thing?
I didn't know how to compute. Yes, let's make our list. Aaron,
Should we?
where are you putting this?
Yeah.
And why is it in your top 10?
#1 movie of all decom. Yeah, I've made the joke before about like when you add the movie to your Letterboxd, it automatically is in the last spot. And I've made the joke where I'm like, yeah, I thought about leaving it there. And then I always move it up higher because nostalgia gets me. No, this movie is coming in hot at whatever our last one is, 55.
55.
I was like, I think I would rather watch You Lucky Dog with Kirk Cameron shaking his hips in my face than watch this movie ever.
Act like you don't talk about Kirk Cameron's hips every time.
Every day. It's
I
problematic.
can't remember the last time I talked about them, but
It's almost as problematic as this movie.
That's right. Almost.
I'm sorry, Kirk Cameron. Yeah, there's just a lot in this movie shocked me. I felt gross watching it. There is a scene, we do get a scene of Josh in the bathtub just to show that he's had a rough day. Like,
Two scenes.
there's 2 scenes in the
There's
bathtub?
two,
scenes
Josh.
in the
The second one, he's
bathtub.
got that green stuff on his
Yes.
knees.
Oh, that's right. We did
Yeah.
get 2 scenes in the bathtub.
There's 2 scenes.
2 scenes in the
Yikes,
bathtub,
yikes.
and then half a dozen shirtless scenes with Josh. Just not needed. And like, it just, whatever. Movie's 55. It's probably gonna.
Last.
Yeah. I would. I was going through like Don't Look Under the Bed. Would rather
Yeah.
watch than this movie.
I mean, I've
Can
got-
of Worms would rather watch than this movie. Like, that's where we're at. So no changes to my top 10. Scream Team, Halloween Town, Get a Clue, Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off, which Josh is the worst part of that movie too. So glad he got a.
You like cooking?
Glad he got his own movie. Phantom of the Megaplex, 5, Smart House, 4, Johnny Tsunami, 3, Right on Track, 2, Cadet Kelly, and 1, Motocross. Remember that day we got to watch Motocross?
Oh, what a day.
Yay.
Brando?
Yeah, this is a tough one because I understand what you're saying, Aaron, and I think it's fair. My problem with this movie is I was pretty locked in the first half of it. which I can't say about any of the movies that I have below it. So there's that. So I have it right in front of Tiger Cruise.
You have it better than Tiger Cruise.
I have it one better than Tiger Cruise, solely because I enjoyed some of it.
Okay.
So there's that. I mean, Tiger Cruise was a real tough watch with a lot of green screen.
Yeah, Tiger Cruise, bad movie.
Not as problematic as this movie, but at least there was. Yeah. I mean, you could make the argument that it is.
It's problematic as this movie.
I think it's more problematic, but it knows it and it believes it and it leans into it. This movie I have worse because Tiger Cruise. I didn't mean to just steal your look, but like Tiger Cruise, in my opinion, is shockingly problematic. But at the time that it came out, not surprised it came out, and they believe what they were doing was correct, and they lean in so hard to it.
Yeah.
So that,
and we get a Bill Pullman speech.
yes, yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Brad.
So I still have it pretty low though. I have it.
It's debuting at 11?
49. 49 for Bran. 49.
It did crack his top 50.
So there's it's in front of Tiger Cruise and a bundle of boring.
Bundle of boring.
Full blown boring. No changes for me in the top 10. 10, Luck of the Irish. 9, Fin of the Megaplex. 8, Full Court Miracles. 7, Smart House. 6, Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off. 5, Cadet Kelly. 4, Get a Clue. 3, Motocross. Number 2, Johnny Tsunami. And number 1, the greatest movie of all time about a child who ends up saving the day via a race. And of all time, Brink.
Great.
So I too start any really bad movie at 55, and then I compare it to the other movies to see where I will put it. That's how 55, 54, 53. Tiger Cruise ended up at 52. I started Buffalo Dreams at 55. I saw Z3 as my previous last, and I said Z3 didn't try. They didn't attempt anything. It's the laziest production I've ever seen. It deserves to be the worst. I moved it ahead of that, and it did not go any further. I have Jenny Project ahead of Buffalo Dreams. I have Tiger Cruise ahead of Buffalo Dreams. I have Stepsister for Planet Weird ahead of Buffalo Dreams. So Buffalo Dreams at 54. It is. I can see. Tiger Cruise is offensive. I wouldn't let my kid watch it. I would have been mad at any point. Like, it's offensive. It's propaganda. You taught people in 3 years after 9/11 to hate brown people and to attack a country that did nothing to us. There is nothing more offensive than that. This is offensive, but I at least see how they made Tiger Cruise. I was alive in 2004 or 5 when propaganda like that was everywhere. So this is more shocking to me. I don't know how they made this movie. Buffalo Dreams.
How in 2005 they were like, you know what would be a great movie for children?
Good God. I don't know how they did it. It's impressively bad. So yeah, 54 for me. 54, top 10, unchanged, Halloween Town, Full Court Miracle, Scream Team, Get a Clue, Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off, Phantom of the Megaplex, Cadet Kelly, Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire, Johnny Tsunami, number 1 Motocross, not even close. All in, all done. We did it.
We did do it. What's next, Aaron? Do you remember?
Yeah. So next week we have Kim Possible, So the Drama.
Ooh.
So the Drama is the subtitle?
Yeah. Kim Possible,
So the Drama.
Well, because Kim Possible is the name of the show.
TV show,
and then
yeah.
So
and
the
this
Drama
is similar to Even Stevens because it's the series finale, right? Am I making that up?
I would have to look because there is another Kim Possible decom.
Right. But that's live action.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was. I want to say that this is the end of the animated
probably.
show.
There's some events in there. We'll obviously do the journalistic research.
Call me. I'll just say this. Call me.
Beat
me if you want to reach me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you want to page me,
it's okay.
Kim Possible. That's all I know.
Wherever you need me, baby. Call me, beat me if you want to reach me.
Is that
right?
We'll look into that.
Okay.
I felt uncomfortable there.
God Almighty. Yeah, you looked right into her soul when you said it. It was really weird.
I was looking for confirmation.
No, you weren't.
I was.
And yet somehow me asking if you got a haircut is the most offensive thing we've done
right.
today.
You know better. We'll be back next time. Bye.
Decom it up, everybody. Decom Descendants is a Bramble Jam podcast produced by Brandon Gray and that Greenville, the Bramble Jam Podcast Network Studios. Follow us on the socials at Decom Descendants. Find us on the web, decompodcast.com, to watch us watch these movies live in real time. Go to BrambleJamPlus.com and you can find that information there. Bye-bye.